Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace and today is Monday, July 6th. This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, but most importantly knitting because that is what I love to do all day, every day. And once again, I have so much to show you. I'm very excited about it. If you'd like to follow me on any of my social medias, I have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Ravelry. I am most active on Instagram, so please go follow me over on there. In addition to that, all the show notes and links to things that I'll be talking about will be in my show notes, which will be on my blog. Link to that is down below if you're on YouTube, all that jazz. We are actually doing a redrawing today for the Big Sky Yarn Company giveaway that I did a couple weeks ago. The winner that I drew last time did not reach out to me, so I have a new winner to announce to you guys, so that's very exciting. And I also have a little discount code, which is very exciting. Everything's just very exciting today. You know, it's a new month, new things, finish objects, it's great. So, it's also, I think it's gonna rain this afternoon. I'm very excited about that, which means that my weather headache will eventually go away, which is always nice. It has nothing to do with this podcast or knitting, although I do talk about the weather all the time. Anyway, so if you'd like to grab something tasty to drink, something to snack upon, an animal to snuggle, something to craft upon, laundry to fold, or all of the above, and you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. I said that very quickly, but either way, let's do some crafty chat. I've been very productive today, and I am bound and determined to leave some extra time in the day, so I have some free time before dinner, which is normally when like free time would be, but to-do list stuff like does need to be done, but I'm doing very good at it today, so here's to hoping I will have some extra time. So let's start off with a redrawing of a giveaway. So this is the Big Sky Yarn Company. It is to do this, or to win this 2-skein set with some tea and a little pin. I have yarn these same two colorways. I know it's kind of hard to see with the glare, but you are getting Hypercolor, the pink, and then Beach House, which is just incredible. I have decided to do the Studio Sampler by Leslie and Robinson, or Knit Graffiti. I have yet to cast that on, but I have finished some things, so I might cast it on, I don't know yet. But this is very exciting. So I held a giveaway for this about 3 weeks ago. No, almost a month ago, I think, at this point. Did the drawing for it 2 weeks ago, and it is time to draw a new winner because, yeah. So the new winner of this set of yarn is very exciting. Her name is Luann Knits, and she commented that she would like to do something from Casapinka, or by Casapinka, which I think is perfect. Casapinka has like the best like color play shawls, I feel like, that doesn't require a ton of yarn. Like Stephen West would be awesome, but you need like a bunch of yarn. Casapinka, you have fun like stitch sampler stuff, you have slip stitches, you've got fun textures, you can play with colors, but really as far as I am aware, some of her most popular shawls use up to like maybe 3 colors, 3 skeins, and most of them are 2, some of them are 1, so it's a really good like stash buster, but this would be perfect. So congratulations, Luann Knits. This is very exciting. If you would please send me your mailing address either on Ravelry or on Instagram. I'll give you 2 weeks to do it, and so I can get that in the mail out to you as soon as possible. That would be really wonderful, and congratulations. Also, so last week I shared with you some incredibly cute progress keepers that I have been sent by Hand Stitch Life. I'm so excited. I love them so much. I have 2 cats and a piece of pizza here to show you. There's this one. Ooh. Focus, please. There we go. I love this little guy. He was on something and that thing got finished, so he gets to be put on something else. This little white cat so much sass. And then my little piece of pizza. And I have some others that are in the other room. But guys, I have a coupon code for you guys, which is very exciting. True love. I'm getting a spam call. I'm busy. Don't want to talk to a spam call or take a spam call. Anyway, so I was very kindly given a 15% discount code from Jen at Hand Stitch Life, which is the creator of these little stitch markers that I showed you guys just a minute ago and then last week. So if you want to use Cat Knits 15, and I'll put that here, you can get 15% off your order. And she's got some incredibly cute things. She has the same sets that I have, and the ones that I showed you last week. She's got, I know she just posted a picture this morning of like this really fun beachy set that's like summery, and I really like that, and I might have to get it. It's super adorable. So please go and check out her shop, because discounts are always awesome. And yeah, and I have giveaway stuff coming up, which is also very exciting, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Can't wait to share these stitch markers, but in the meantime, you can go use this code. I believe it is valid through the end of July. So it is the beginning of July, so you got plenty of time, but don't wait too long, because she's got some really cute sets, and they are awesome. I have two finished objects. One of them I was expecting to get done. The other one I was not expecting to get done, and once the light was at the end of the tunnel, and I was like, I'm getting this thing done. So the first thing is very exciting. I am so excited about this, everyone. This is the Deco Tee by Annie, or This Bird Knits on Instagram and on Ravelry. This is just a little cropped tee with little baby short sleeves and this beautiful lace detailing up at the top. I used Barocco Remix Light. I used about a skein and just barely a little bit into my second skein. So it's a very good, the yardage is not a lot, so you can really, if you've got like 2 skeins of fingering weight or whatever, you are good to go. I believe I made the smallest size. There's a lot of positive ease, so that is why I went with the smaller size. Because normally I would not be knitting the smallest size, but because of the ease and stuff. So it's just super cute. I think it will go over everything. I cannot wait to take pictures of it. I cannot wait to just see all the various versions of it when the pattern comes out. I believe the pattern will be coming out at the end of the month. At the end of July, I think. So keep your eye out on that. I will keep you guys updated, but this is so excited. I am excited. This is very exciting. It's knit on big needles, so it goes quickly. I would love to make a black one of these. I've been finding myself like really wanting to make a black version of all my favorite sweaters because I know I'll wear them a lot. Not that I wouldn't wear like other versions, other colors of them a lot, but I don't know. I think this would be stunning in a black version. It's just so stunning, and it's very classy, and I really like it. Keep your eyes peeled for this pattern, everybody. It is such a good pattern. I also really love working with Annie. She is the sweetest. And this is actually my 3rd sweater that I've test knit for her this year. The first one that I test knit for her was what I started off the year with, which is pretty exciting, and so I foresee a lot more testing for Annie in the future, which I'm very excited for. And she's just a delight to work with. All of her patterns are very well written, and it's just really wonderful. So keep your eyes out for that. I have this other finished objects that's underneath this other one that yarn can get tangled. This is not going to look like anything because it has not been blocked yet, and it kind of looks like a big mess, but it is finished. And that would be my Anna's cardigan by Petite Knit. What? I was not expecting to get this done. Also because had I knit the full length that the pattern called for, I would have had mile-long sleeves. So my sleeves are significantly shorter than what the pattern called for, but they like hit me kind of like right around there. So yeah, you do what you gotta do. I am so excited this thing is done. It also really needs to be locked. The ribbing is folding everywhere. It's really totally fine. No big deal. Did get the button bands all knit. I did not include buttonholes because I do not intend to put buttons on them. I had been working on this pretty intensely on July 3rd. Yeah, I picked up the second sleeve on the evening of July 3rd, got halfway through the sleeve, and then on the 4th, when we went and hung out with my in-laws, and just hung around the house, and stayed safe and all that kind of stuff, I just finished this sleeve and then actually worked on some other stuff. So I got a lot of knitting done, and I was discussing with my mom about this sleeve because if you've seen the recent episodes, I had expressed my dismay for the eyelets, and they were not my favorite thing in the world, and I was just tired of them. I wanted them to be done. I was just over it. That being said, it is beautiful. Like, it creates such a beautiful texture, and I love it. But didn't love knitting it after a while. It just was just too much. Not having to do with the pattern, just has to do with me being tired of knitting eyelets. But anyway, the first sleeve took me forever. And I was, but like it had the large part, or what am I trying to say? One of the main reasons why it took me so long was because of the eyelets and trying to figure out the placement, and it was constantly changing because I was decreasing and changing the decreases and blah, 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 all this stuff. And so because there was so much variation, and like it would be one thing to change the decreases on the first sleeve and then have it be easy on the second sleeve, but you also have these eyelets, and because it was just different, because it was a different sleeve and the eyelets were in different places, and just constantly trying to figure that out, I thought that the second sleeve would in fact not go faster and would just take the same amount of time. And my mom was very encouraging, and she was like, oh no, you know, the second sleeve always goes faster. And she was right. It's totally right. Like, I literally knit more than half of it. I think I knit like that much of it in an evening. We were doing like a virtual date night with some friends, and I always just try and have some mindless stuff that I want to get done so we can, or I can like make a lot of progress because we just chat and hang out virtually, because that's the wonders of the internet and technology. And I got that much done. So that left this much for the next day. And like I got maybe half of that on our trip, like driving to my in-laws' house, and then I finished it. You know, I actually think I finished the entire sleeve minus like 2 rows of the ribbing before we even got to their house. Like, that was part of the drive, because it takes around 30 to 40-ish minutes to get to my in-laws' house. And then I picked up the button bands, and like that maybe took me maybe 2 hours to do both of them, just because I was doing other stuff, and they're not little. They're short, but they are not little. So this is all done, and all it needs is to be blocked and some of the ends to be woven in, and I'm so excited. I thought I was gonna run out of yarn, but I did not. I'm so excited. I have maybe like half of a skein left, so it really worked out very well, and in my favor, and that was really wonderful because I used up almost all of it. This is Drops Charisma, in this, if you can't tell, the lighting makes it look very blue, but it's almost like a purpley browny gray. Like there's a purple undertone to it, I would say, in person. My camera's showing it very blue, but this is more accurate back here, but then you can't see the detail of it. But anyway, this is finished object number 2 that I was not expecting to get done. Once I got the second sleeve done, or half of the second sleeve done, it was just like, okay, this is getting done. This is for sure getting done. It's big. It's very big, but I think it'll be snuggly. And yeah, once I block it, I think it'll just be so much better, because right now there's just ends everywhere. The ribbing will not stay. Ugh. It folds, and I don't like that. I don't know why that irritates me so much, but it just does. I don't know why. But anyway, it's done. Yes. So that is a huge languishing whip that I can check off my list for the year, which is amazing. So good. So next up, let's do this not languishing whip that I have made. I could have made more progress on, but I have not. But let's keep in mind I did finish 2 sweaters. And one of them was really very big. I keep saying it's big. It's really not that big. It's just a cardigan. It's literally just a cardigan, but it was a lot of knitting. So that's why I keep saying it was massive. But this is my Cozy Days Cowl by Autumn Poppy Designs. Never gonna forget that now. And by the first section, my beautiful lace section, I didn't move my progress keeper, and that's okay. I got all the lace done, and then I started back on the striping section. So I am on the downward slope of this thing, and after you finish the lace and you go back to the striping, there is not a number of repeats that you do. You just do it until it is your desired length, or the length the pattern calls for. And at this, around this point, I think I might have had 20 inches left. It goes very quickly because, again, everybody, these rows are tiny. It is so nice. It is so nice. So this was another one that I did. I had a wonderful chat with a very dear old friend of mine, and this is what I worked on while we chatted. And yeah, it's just this striping section, you do kind of have to pay attention because there's some differentness of just where you do your stripes and what side you change your yarn on to get it look this way and all that jazz, but it's very easy and it's not very hard to keep track of. So it's a very good mindless project if you were looking for one of those. Lace was super easy. It is all written out. So if you want to practice reading written out lace instructions, it will be a very good one because it's very intuitive, and you can very easily follow, line up, and do what you're supposed to do. Because I can definitely tell you I made many mistakes in this thing, but could you tell? No, because I definitely kind of fudged my way along and made things work. If things didn't line up, I decreased in other places, increased in other places just to make it work because I hadn't been paying attention before. But that's okay. I mean, you do what you gotta do. So this is very exciting. Let's put this little white cat up here. So now, I put him on backwards. Do it this way. So that way, I have a little progress keeper all ready to go. You look so cute. So yes, this is Long Dog yarn. She is in Louisiana. I have the pinky swear colorway on her singles base, and then the blue teal mohair is sea glass. I'm very much enjoying knitting with this. It is such delightful yarn, and just her speckles of the dark purple and the teal, and there's pink. I love it. it's really awesome. So I would highly recommend checking out her yarn. I would also highly recommend knitting this pattern. You do start with a provisional cast on and you will eventually join ends to create a cowl. Though I suppose you could leave it as is and make it a scarf, but you would probably have to make it extra long. So that would be a thing. But if you wanted to, if you have options, you know. So this is very exciting. This is a COVID purchase. This was something that happened while we were in lockdown. My mom has yarn for the same project. She just got different colors. And so this was an indie dyer that we wanted to support in the midst of all this craziness and pandemics. Or just one pandemic. There's not multiple pandemics going on. Ugh. Okay, so next up, I have a test knit that I have cast on. I don't believe I had cast on last time we chatted. I was kind of behind on my progress of it. I'm loving this. This is, I really enjoy having different like types of knitting on the needles at once. Like obviously you can have like a small thing, a mindless thing, a complicated thing, a big thing, a sweater, a shawl, a hat, whatever. You can find various ways to like switch up and have variation in your knitting lineup of projects, if that makes sense. But I really enjoy having like lace. I enjoy having color work. I have cables, short rows. I have a new test knit, everybody. I got confirmation this morning. Are you surprised? I think it's just gonna become a trend now. Every week I just announce that I have a new test knit and I will finish another test knit in the same week. So it's just, we're constantly cycling through, except for this really big one that's the secret that I can't show you guys, but that's also very exciting and I also really need to work on that one. But anyway, this is Speckle and Spice by Tammy Gore and I am so excited about it. This is a DK weight cropped pullover and you can see my color work already. I know it doesn't look like you can see it very well, but I do promise you can. And I have added in my third color, which is this dark brown. I might be able to show it to you a little bit better on this side because I have started working on my second row. There we go. You can see that. So I've got this pink, this like taupey color, this dark brown, and then I will also have a cream. And this is a very fun combination of colors. It's very me in that I like all these colors. And I could definitely see myself putting together a combination of this color palette. It would probably help if I held it up while discussing it. And I know it's kind of hard to tell because there's just a little bit of the brown, but there will be so much more brown and I'm so excited. It's also kind of like a reddy, rusty brown. And it looks very blue on camera, but oh well. But it's just, it seems very much up my alley of like style and colors. It seems very autumnal because of the brown. I thought about going with the black instead of a brown, but that seemed to be more edgy. I was discussing this with my mom, and not that I have a problem with things being edgy, but I feel like more cozy and just kind of like the autumnal. I don't know, like it's not always autumnal, but like I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I don't know if I understand what I'm saying. Do we understand this? I don't know. This seemed more me than the black. That's why I went with the brown. I'm very excited. I need to make more progress on this. This has a fast approaching due date. The end of the month, so I do have time, but I also have other things to knit upon and I have not made a lot of progress on this. It is knit on size 8s, So it goes quickly because it's DK. It's awesome. I have Knit Picks, I have Madeline Tosh, I have Cascade 220, and then this pink that I'm using is U2 yarn. And it's the Pollyanna base, which is DK, and it is 100% New Zealand Polworth superwash. So this was in my stash, and I'm excited to use it. I had been saving this yarn for something else. I think it was like an Andrea Mowry cowl or something like that, but it wasn't like locked in place. It wasn't something that I needed the cowl, and I really wanted to like shop for my stash for this because this was very easily stash shoppable. So I'm very excited about that. I need to make more progress, and in fact we will go ahead and mark my progress with my little black cat. Do do do. Do do. It's getting caught on all the strands. But yes, I feel like I haven't knit a ton of color work this year. And I say that, and I probably have, and I just can't remember. Because this year has been so weird. But currently, I don't feel like I'm really doing... I'm doing color work in that I'm doing striping, but not color work in regards to a pattern. Am I? No. Oh, yes. I have a languishing whip that has color work in it, but it's not all color work. It's just the section that I'm currently in and has been not my favorite, is color work. Just because it's kind of a very long pattern, but I know I'll love it. But that's a totally, I need to pull that project out, but whatever. That's different. I have another languishing whip. This is my last project that I've been working on. I've gotten a ton of progress in the span of a day. And it was because of some books that I get to talk about, and I'm very excited. So, this is my Sea Bogger by Kate Davies. This is a Rabbit Knit Picks Tweed Stroll, and this is Farmhouse, not Wellies. This is Farmhouse because it's brown. I love this yarn, would knit with this yarn again in a heartbeat. It is so soft. It might pill pretty badly, but I do love it quite a lot. I will love wearing it, that's for sure. And you know what? That's why we have gleaners. That's why we have sweater shavers. That's why we have little pumice stones. That's why we have those things. So don't let pilling be a problem, people. If you see pilling, it's just a sign of a very well-loved sweater. And that is wonderful and should be applauded and appreciated. So who cares about pills? This always gets very tangled. I always have to like situate myself whenever I start working on this thing of like lining up my, that's for sure tangled, but I don't need to worry about that. It'll be fine. This has been my reading project. So I will set myself up on the couch and, excuse me, excuse you, really. And so I have my yarn like one ball on the coffee table, one ball on the other side of the couch so they can stay far away. I rotate it a certain way so things stay not tangled, because tangled yarn, especially when you're just doing striping, is I really don't like. It's very irritating to me. So this is what I have so far. Of course, the ribbing's rolling up. That's just inevitable. This is the progress that I made in a day. Pretty substantial, pretty awesome. I have, I'm working on the second step of the project, so I am increasing to create the dolman sleeve look. I really love this. I'm very excited to be able to wear this in the fall. I think it'll be a good, like the type of sweater that I would have bought somewhere like at Target or something like that. Yeah, I'm just really excited to have made it. And I say that having wanted to buy it at Target, I probably would have seen it at Target and been like, I can knit that. I'm not going to buy it because I can knit that. And then feel bad, never knit it, so that I never get to wear it. But this time I am knitting it, and so I do get to wear it, and I'm very excited. I love the tweedy texture. It's just so awesome. I love the stripes. I love the colors. It is so much knitting. Everyone, so much knitting. And yes, this is knit in the round, and no, I didn't do the striping thing where you make them line up all nice and pretty. I didn't do that. I don't know. I don't think I really like, I don't mind that. Plus it's on the side, like on the side seam. Also, once I started doing my increases, like you can't really see that anymore. So, I mean, it's still very stretchy. Like that's no problem. I don't know. I remember I tried to figure it out, and I think we were on a road trip because it was okay to go places at the time, because this was cast on over a year ago, and I tried doing it, but like being on a road trip and trying to figure something else, trying to figure something new out was just like, I don't want to do this right now. I'll just leave it. And so leave it I did, and here we are today. So yeah, I got a ton of it done during the morning yesterday, but mainly I got most of it done yesterday evening because I read some books. And I say books because I finished 2 books. I finished an audiobook, and I finished a reading with my eyes book. And I have thoughts about that. Let's take a tea break to fuel the book discussion. Okay, let's start with the one that I did enjoy. Which lets you know that there's one that I didn't enjoy as much. So, the book that I read with my eyes was The Guest List by Lucy Foley. And oh my goodness, everybody, if you really enjoy, like, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's like a soap opera drama, but it's a lot of like interpersonal drama. You don't, like, it's hard to describe. It's very good. There's a lot of character building, and I feel like the characters were built and developed so well that it was weird, because there were not really very many characters that you liked or I liked, and it was like, well, I really only like 1, maybe 2 of these characters at this point. The rest of them are horrible people, and I don't like them, and I have no sympathy for them. And though you may think that would be like a bad thing, like you would want to have good feelings for all the characters, and like obviously there'll be a bad person or a villain of the story, but all of them were bad. But like that's also such a good design, or a good example of character development, and like just story building and plot developing, and just building characters that you were supposed to dislike. And she did that incredibly well. The ending, there were so many twists and turns close to the end that was just like, what? Like there were at least 2 of them. I like I put down my knitting, and I was like literally like this, reading my book, and I was like, oh my goodness, I did not see that coming. I had to stop knitting. I was in shock. Sam is on a work phone call, if you can hear him. He's in the background. There is a lot of language, though, if that bothers you. So just as a heads up. It is very good. It is a thriller. It is a mystery. It is a murder set on a very remote island in Ireland. Say that 5 times fast. Island in Ireland. There's a big storm. It's a wedding. It's about the wedding party and who gets killed, who kills who dies. It's a very good book. I would highly recommend it. I'm trying to think of like what would be a good thing to compare it to. I honestly don't know. I feel like if you just like Lisa Jewell or Ruth Ware or people like that, like authors like that, that would be, the guest list would be a good book for you. So that's the book that I really did enjoy. And I knit a lot during that because I was very enthralled and was finding all these twists and turns and was just knitting faster and faster and faster, which is great because I'm knitting in the round for miles upon miles. The second book that I finished was my audiobook. And that book was The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, which if you are familiar with the Hunger Games world, that would be the Hunger Games author. This is the book that is supposed to set the stage for the Hunger Games. It takes place around the 10th Hunger Games, and it is about President Snow, who is not president at the time because he's about 18. Corellius, I believe, is his name. I don't know. I actually don't remember. Tells you how much I enjoyed this book. I have feelings about this book. I have opinions about this book. I don't know if they're popular opinions. I know that a lot of people that I have seen who have read this on BookTube and just book opinions, Goodreads, they either love it or they really don't like it. I was mainly irritated by it because it was a good story. It was a very good story. It's not like it was badly written. It was an enjoyable story. It wasn't groundbreaking, but it was good. But it's President Snow. We hate him. He's the worst. And the book was just kind of like, oh, well, he was kind of cool. Like, he did some innovative things and he was really talented in what he did, and then oh, this other stuff happened, and like, oh, this is why he did that. And it's like, but we're still like, he does it, we know he's bad, we don't need more information. Like, it's the backstory that we didn't really need, if that makes sense, in my opinion. Granted, this is just my opinion. I had ranted to Sam about this for quite a long time last night. I personally did not need a backstory on Snow. I knew that he was a terrible person. Didn't like him. He was the worst. Hated him. So bad. We didn't need this story, in my opinion. Had it been from someone else's perspective, could have been really awesome, in my opinion. Granted, if you love the book, more power to you. I'd love to hear why you liked it. Just for interesting, I'd like to know. But I did not like it. And it was a long book too. It was like almost 600 pages, I think. It was a long book. I did listen to it. I did speed it up. So it didn't take nearly as long as it normally would have. And it was really great. So, more knitting. Also played Animal Crossing while listening to this book many a time. So, multitasking. Am I glad I read it? Yes. Will I read it again? No. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say because it just is irritating. And we don't like President Snow. Why does he deserve his own book? That's so long. Why? In my opinion. Just my opinion. What are your opinions? Have you read this book? What did you think? Anyway, like I said, I'm glad that I read it. I don't want to be like, oh my goodness, I read this book and I hated it, and what, like, this is just so bad, and everyone's like, well, why did you read a book that you didn't like? Have I DNF'd or didn't finish books that I didn't like? For sure. But I wanted to read this one because I wanted to experience it. I knew that it was a thing because I did enjoy the Hunger Games. I did enjoy. It sounded like I said I didn't. I did. But whatever. We can rant and rave about this for forever. But I got a lot of knitting done. So that was good. I was just really glad to get it done because it was really starting to drag, and I was just very irritated with President Snow and his storyline and his character development. It was just like, why are we talking about him? We don't like him. We just don't like him. But I got a lot of knitting done, and that's all that really matters. And then, so I finished that, and then I finished the guest list, and so we ended the evening on a very good note, and I was very excited. Definitely feel the book, like, withdrawals of those two books, which is just sign of good reading, sign of good listening. It was just, I was invested. Irritatingly so in regards to the Hunger Games book, but whatever. They are done. So those are the two books that I've read so far in July, which is pretty good, seeing that it's only the 6th. Granted, I did start both of those books in... Oh, no, I did start them in July. I did read through them very fast, and that was very exciting, so... Because last month, my book reading material was very slow at the beginning of the month, so I'm glad to be starting off strong. It's very exciting. That is my book discussion. I'm sorry that went on for so long. Had opinions, had thoughts. If you have opinions or thoughts about either of those books, please let me know. I would love to know. If you would like to follow me on Goodreads, I do read quite a lot that I don't always talk about on the podcast, so if you are very interested in, or not very interested, but if you're just relatively interested in books that I'm reading on a like day-to-day basis, you can follow me or be my friends on Goodreads, and that'll be in the show notes as well. So very exciting. I do have some yarn acquisitions, and I do actually have more yarn acquisitions coming soon, which is very exciting. But this is for a sweater, and this is going to be a beautiful, delightful sweater, and I'm so excited to start this. I don't know when I'm starting it, but I am very excited for this. This is Ulysse. This. I should have looked up how to pronounce that, but I did not. But I know it's French, so give it my best shot. This is the Quartz colorway, which is super exciting. I've never knit with this yarn. I've wanted to knit with this yarn for forever. It is just exceeded my expectations. I am so excited to... Oh, there's a lightning alert nearby. I get weather alerts on my phone. I really like that because then I can see what's happening. We're talking about yarn here. My mom is also going to be knitting it as well, and we will be knitting the birthday sweater by Anka Strick? Don't know how to pronounce that correctly either, but do love this sweater. It's basically just like a regular raglan top-down pullover, but it's got fisherman's rib, I believe. It's not brioche, and it could just be ribbing, but it looks awesome. Very snuggly, kind of sweatshirty almost, and so I think I love this color. It's more pinky in person. It's showing up very light on my camera, but on your computer maybe more pinky. But so I'm very excited about this. Like I said, I'm not sure when that'll be cast on, but soon, hopefully. I have other things that I need to cast on. Let it be known that I am down to 10 projects on my needles. 10. I can count them on my hands, and I don't have to use my feet. What? I would like to maybe potentially get it down to 7, maybe 5. 5 would be pushing it, I think. Maybe 6 or 7. That would be really awesome. How many of these are test? Currently, well, but I'm about to have 11 because I have this other test knit. So how many of these are test knits? We've got the Speckle and Spice, the secret one, and then this new one. So 3 of them. So say we have 11, and 3 of them are test knits. So they for sure get to be done, have to be done, which puts me at 8. And if I finish Sea Bogger soon, or the Cozy Days Cowl, and that'll take me down to 10 again. Or no, that would take me down to 7. What? So, I have plans. I have plans. These are good plans. We want to... I have been working on this for many years at this point. Like, what is it, 2 years? Many years. Eons. Just 2. It's not that long, but it does seem like a long time. I have been very good. Although, can we remember the days where I was trying to get at least 1 languishing whip done a month, and then sometimes I'd get 3 done, and just knocking that out, and that's crazy. I was thinking the other day, how many sweaters will I have knit this year? How many sweaters have I knit so far? Let's consult my... I was about to say Goodreads. We will consult my Ravelry. Which one? How long? Ooh, I didn't want to edit my profile. I want to look at my profile. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Projects. So, how many sweaters have we done? Okay, we got the espresso tea. It's July. It's kind of like a mid-year check-in. We should probably do this more in detail next week. I love that idea. Will I remember? I don't know. So first off, we have the espresso tea. That was my first test knit for Annie. That was the yellow pullover with the color work. My second test knit of the year and sweater was the Night Groove for Isabel Kramer. That was a more summery top and I love it. Then I did another test knit that was a shawl, a languishing whip, a sample, my first COVID cast on, my birthday cast on, another languishing whip. Okay, so how many sweaters we have? We've got 2. And then I did another test for Annie. That was the Trilogy pullover, which I have worn so much. Then we had the spring court test for Tristan that I did. I finished a languishing whip, another test, Joy project, we had another test, Penguono by Stephen West, so that's 5. We have the Felix pullover, so that's 6. The Duet tee, that's 7. My brioche sweater is done, so that's 8. My deco tee, that's 9. Hannah's cardigan, that's 10. 10 sweaters so far in 6 months. 7 months, excuse me. Not expecting that. So currently on my needles, I have Sea Bogger, I have Populux, I have the Oban cardigan, and then I have Speckles and Spice. So I have 4 more sweaters to finish. And I have lots more yarn to knit sweaters, but currently on my needles I have 4 more sweaters. I would really love to get those done. One of them is a test knit, so that definitely has to get done. Oh my goodness, guys, 10 sweaters? What? Was not expecting that. I have knit so much this year. I am so excited. I know that this situation and being on lockdown and just the anxiety and the worry and just the scariness of it all has really affected a lot of people in different ways. And I know people have not knit at all. They've knit a little bit. They've knit a ton. They've read a ton. They haven't felt like reading at all. They haven't done other stuff, and that's totally understandable because it's a weird, scary time, and that's totally okay and normal to not feel like doing things that you normally do because it's a very weird time. And so I feel like that my knitting, just my personal experience with knitting during the coronavirus, I have not really thought about the amount of knitting that I have done, and I've just done it. And so looking back at how much I have done is just, what? I'm very happy with it. I'm not complaining at all. But I feel like my knitting time has just gone up, and my motivation, or just kind of like, I'm just gonna work on whatever I have, and we're gonna get it done. And then I do that all the time, and then things get done, and then I'm like, wow, that was fast. Things got done. But like I said, everyone has handled this differently, and that is totally understandable. However, you have chosen to knit or read or do stuff while being at home and being safe and trying to stay healthy. That is perfect for you, because there have been times where I haven't felt like reading. There have been times where I didn't feel like knitting. It's totally understandable. But I feel like I've gotten a ton done, and I'm very excited about it. So let's get those projects on my needles down to maybe 7, maybe 5 at the most. It is within reach. Like, it is so close. What? I didn't think it would be this close. I'm so excited. Wow, this is very motivational. Wow. Okay, so next week we will have a more in-depth, review of what I've knit. I feel like that would be fun for the middle of the year type thing. Does that sound like fun? Granted, I know that it is now July, not June, and June would have been the better time to do it because that would have been halfway, but whatever. Details. That might be fun. That might be fun to do. Who knows what finished objects I will have? I'm not going to promise anything because I really don't know what all is. I can finish the Cozy Days cowl. Ooh, what if I finished my test knit? That would be crazy. I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. You never know. Anyway, that is all that I have. I kind of rambled on there for a while. But, ooh, you know what? Here's an idea. I'm gonna do, so there is a book tag on most of BookTube that has gone around called the mid-year freak out tag, where you go over books and you have questions like, what was your favorite book so far, and like which one was the most surprising and which one disappointed you, and blah blah blah. I will come up with a list of questions that are similar but different in regards to, that will cater towards knitting projects. That sounds like fun. I'm gonna do that. Maybe make it a thing. I like that a lot. Okay, so that's on my to-do list for sure. I don't have any more knitting to tell you about, talk about, whatever. I think it's getting ready to storm. It's gotten pretty dark outside. And like I said, I had a lightning alert, which is very exciting. We love rainstorms and thunderstorms. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to me rant and ramble about Suzanne Collins and President Snow and eyelets and knitting stripes. You know, all those things. If you would like to follow me on any of my social medias or check out the show notes, all of that will be on my blog or down below if you are on YouTube. Also, just as a reminder, a constant reminder, there are sirens going by. We'll wait until they are farther away. There we go. A constant reminder, please continue to educate yourself about the Black Lives Matter movement. Just constantly be reading up, signing petitions, donating if you can. This is didn't stop 2 weeks ago. It didn't stop a week ago. It's continuing on. It's not going to stop. So do not stop educating yourself. Do not stop researching. I'm continuing to include the links in the show notes, so if you are interested in just checking those out. There's also so much stuff on Instagram. You can go find out so many amazing people to follow and just diversify your feed. So please continue to do that. Yes. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. If you were in the United States, I hope you had a safe and fun 4th of July with friends and family. Of course, social distancing, wearing a mask potentially, all that jazz. We had a very fun, quiet 4th of July, but we had a lot of fun with my in-laws and my parents the next day. It was really wonderful. I have lots of crafty plans. Hope you have lots of crafty plans. My SD card is about to be full, so gotta wrap this up really quickly. Once again, Luann Knits, please contact me with your shipping information. I will get your package to you as soon as possible. Congratulations for winning this beautiful Big Sky Yarn Company yarn, which is super exciting. So please get in contact with me. Also, don't forget the coupon code from Hand Stitch Life. It is CATKNITS15. There is an S, so don't forget the S. CATKNITS15 for 15% off your order, which would be super exciting. It's valid through the end of July. She has so much cute stuff. Please go check her out. You will not be sorry. They're just so adorable. So, hope to have lots of progress to show you next week with this knitting tag questionnaire thing that I'm going to come up with. Don't know what it's going to be like, but we'll find out next week. And hopefully lots of progress. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.